Titans set out to do this offseason was to make the circumstances around Cam Ward better. They draft a wide receiver, 4th overall. They bring another wide receiver. You mentioned Wan'Dale Robinson, comes over from the Giants where the offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll, was the head coach. They had a problem catching the ball last year in Tennessee. They had a problem with drops, and these guys, in spite of the first highlight, are supposed to be sure-handed guys that can catch it. What this means is the spotlight on Cam Ward in year 2 is going to be different than it was in year 1. The expectations will be higher because there won't be as many excuses. So, yes, a little bit of alarming performance here in the first 2 preseason games. We don't know. The other team might be scheming up a defense. You might not be scheming up an offense. We don't know what we're looking at exactly. But if you're a Titans fan, you would like to see better.
This past weekend did not play well. I was with us after week 1, and I said, week 1, I thought Deshaun played better than Shedeur. Week 2, Deshaun struggled mightily against what was probably, for the most part, backups and 3rd-string players for Buffalo. And so to sit there and say it's not performance-based, you can have that opinion, but the performance warranted it. There was a moment where Deshaun could have endeared himself in the smallest way to that fan base and said, listen, I don't like getting booed, but I haven't held up my end of the bargain for both injury and performance. You pay your hard-earned dollars to come watch us play. I didn't do my job well enough. I don't like it. I agree with the booing when I'm injured isn't a fun experience, but it happened. But to sit there and say it's only personal as you're putting a diamond earring on doesn't come off as good. And that's why if I'm the Cleveland Browns and I'm Todd Monken, there is no way that you could come out today and say, this is our guy. You can't do that to the fan base that is starving and obviously loves Shedeur. This dude's so good. I think he is insane how talented he is. Some of the throws he makes and the way that it is effortless are absurd. If this group can stay healthy, Christian Watson, Matthew Golden had 2 or 3 plays that they need him to take that step forward. But I somehow still truly deep down believe that this dude is undervalued. I think he is so sensational.
Love you're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah. He is sensational throwing the football. And if we just took guys out there and said throw, he would be in that category with Joe and Lamar and Josh and Patrick. He would be in that category just flat out throwing the ball.
Especially in the proclamation. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Super Bowl contenders. And it's all because of Ruben Bain. I've been trying to get you jerks to talk about Ruben Bain for 6 weeks. And he hasn't played in the preseason. So what? He played in the preseason. And Simmons, a great tackle, hit him with the Reggie White hump moon. Ruben Bain is going to be the Defensive Player of the Year. He'll be the 3rd blue-chip player on their defense, along with Winfield and Vita Vea. I think this makes this defense really good and makes them compete.
Right. And now something that seemed theoretical appears, Paul, to be upon us. I'm curious, 2 things. Your reaction and the reaction that you're hearing from all of your callers and all of those football fans in the SEC to what feels like it's going to be the beginning of something enormous.
College football has officially plunged into the abyss, Greeny. We have never been at a place like this before. There have been scandals far more serious, but this is a new low in terms of the machinations of the legal system, the NCAA, and all these things. It's just incomprehensible to think that someone was on an NFL roster the other day and he very well could be playing for LSU a week from this Saturday. But it's the way things are right now, and the one thing that I think everybody is waiting for, callers are outraged, fans are outraged across the board. What can, if anything, the Southeastern Conference do about it? There has not been a puff of smoke from the headquarters building in downtown Birmingham. Something will be said at some point. There is a president's meeting at some point today or tomorrow, and I think that the league would like to speak as a group, with the exception of LSU, which has always been a bit of a renegade, and that will be eagerly anticipated. But until then, Greeny, it's just chaos.
So ask you this, fill in the blank. If Caleb fixes his completion percentage this season, then what?
Caleb Williams is an MVP candidate, without question. We saw the explosive plays, and Swagoo mentioned it. It's more of the down-to-down aspect of the game that has to be cleaned up. 58% is way too low. He's way too talented. If those receivers can be healthy, and that's a big if right now, Luther Burden, Rome Odunze with a foot, if those guys could stay healthy with Colston Loveland and this offense, he'll be an MVP candidate because he'll hit the singles and doubles that go with the home run.
What's he going to need to do this season to raise his game?
Just execute, man. Execute. Stay away from the terrible plays that we saw down the stretch in the playoffs. But I also don't want C.J. Stroud to come into this season thinking he's going to have to be Superman. Because sometimes that's your reaction to what we've seen you on the last time you were on the field. I was in New England. It was abysmal. He looked like he lost all of his confidence. He didn't know the picture that he was looking at, and he just was rattled and shaken. I came on at halftime during that game and said they should pull him and put Davis Mills in the game. And everybody talked about, oh my God, you can't do that. What's going to happen with CJ? Well, there's 52 other dudes on this roster trying to win the football game. And one is visibly not here right now. I think CJ going through this offseason, reevaluating, this will be the second year in this offense with his coordinator. There's a lot working for him. But this type of defense, that's probably going to be historical again because you return everybody. All you got to do is really stay out of the way, right? And we know that he can play at a high level. So if you get both of those things, then you can expect Houston to be in a deep playoff run team and competing to try to win the Super Bowl. I know nobody's talking about that right now. And the only reason we're not talking about Houston being in the Super Bowl is because of CJ.
Yeah.
Everything else is there. They re-solidified the run game. We saw the offensive line last night, popping runs, opening holes. CJ is probably the quarterback under the most pressure in the NFL this year.
Not even close.
This year.
I'm very confident. That's just because what Graz said about his first time in new systems, being a baller and getting MVPs. That's really hard to do. But we have recency bias over what we saw last year. He was a shadow of himself. He was not healthy. His threat as a runner was greatly diminished because of the lower body injuries that he dealt with all year. He only had 2 games after he came back from injury with 30 or more rushing yards. You know how many he had in that MVP season?
How many, Jordan?
All but 2 games he had more than 30 yards. So when he's a rushing threat, this offense is nearly unstoppable. I think Declan Doyle is going to add some of those wrinkles, the play actions, the under centers, but still use him in the gun as a runner, and we're going to see this offense take off. Sounds like a guy that is sending a message that he's kind of tired of the promises that the offensive line is going to be better, the defense is going to be better, and a guy that I think is sending a message that he might not be here in the future if things don't go the way they've been promised to go, because Joe Burrow's not the problem. When you look at the last time he had a full season, he threw for 4,900 yards, 43 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. He's MVP caliber when he's healthy. In the 3 years since they missed the playoffs, they've lost 16 games. Of those 16 games they've lost, only twice did the defense hold the offense to under 24 points. The defense has been the issue. And yes, he's been banged up. He's missed time. And I get it. The best ability is availability. But you got to block for him as well. And I think that's what he's saying. Like, it's great to look forward and, hey, we're going to fix the O-line, fix the defense. At some point, that's just been empty promises so far. And Joe Burrow is ready to deliver on his end. And he's kind of questioning whether the team and the front office is going to deliver on their end. And I think right now you saw that he should be 3 right now, which is okay. Fernando Mendoza should not step on the field until he is ready. Not because Kirk goes down, not because they start 1-5. If it's early and they need a quarterback, Aiden O'Connell should be that guy right away. And then whenever it is that Mendoza is ready because of him, you go to him.
You're in a division with Mahomes, with Herbert and the Chargers who are loaded up, with the Broncos who are coming off, a 14-win season?
Yep.
There's no rush.
Yep.
Raiders haven't won a playoff game since Rich Gannon. There's no rush.
I'm all for this because the pendulum needs to swing so far in one direction that we completely blow up the system that is currently occupying college football and retailor it so it fits the actual landscape. Because this is a no-brainer for these players. Take Jack Pyburn, who had 2 sacks the other day with the Bucs. He played at LSU last year. He was undrafted. Let's say he gets cut. Let's say they want to retain him as a practice squad player. You know what the salary is for a first 2-year practice squad player? $247,000. A lot of money, right? But you know what the average salary is for a starter in the SEC or the Big Ten? $500,000-$600,000. Most players well over $1 million. So why would you go to a practice squad making $13,000 a week, $247,000, great money for everybody sitting at home, when you could go make $600,000, $1 million, and have yourself a better and another opportunity to then maybe get drafted the next year? It's a no-brainer for players. It's terrible for college football and the integrity of the NCAA. They can't do anything about it. We need to blow it up. This is the next step.